There are few games with as notorious a reputation as Conker's Bad Fur Day. I remember being a kid and begging to get it as I was obsessed with rare games, but my mom not letting me because it was rated M for mature. And that really wasn't fair. I was totally a mature 8-year-old. I could have handled it, Mom. Putting aside my gripe against my mom, have you ever thought about Conker's abilities? On the surface, he has basic movements, a cool tail copter, and dat frying pan dough. But he has one more ability that's more like a pool of abilities. That being the ability to context-sensitively produce anything required for that precise moment in time. But these also allow Conker to do other things besides produce items. He has more important abilities that make Conker very powerful, and I believe they do not originate from context-sensitive pads like we're meant to believe. In fact, in the game it's teased why Conker can do these things, but no one talks about it! Let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is Overthinking It. Context-sensitive buttons. What a concept. We're all familiar with what these do in games, but just in case someone here isn't, you find a pad, you get a little light bulb above you, and you press the B button. This lets you get an item or ability to help you complete a task right in front of you. It appears to have no real limit to its scope or range, but besides getting items, Conker demonstrates alternate abilities. These abilities are the only ones Conker demonstrates that aren't an item materializing into thin air. In several points in the game, but specifically Barn Boys, Conker can shapeshift into an anvil to ground pound pressure pads. This isn't the only time he shapeshifts, as in Spooky he shapeshifts into a bat, and without a context-sensitive icon, I might add. It's heavily implied that Batula turns Conker into a bat by biting him. But after doing so, Batula states there's something familiar about Conker's blood, and that he must be his great-great-great-great, I don't know, lots of greats, grandson. Which, if looking at his self-portrait in his mansion, you can see the resemblance. And yes, this is where I'm going with this. Conker's not just a squirrel, he is part vampire. Specifically, Conker's a daywalker. Let's look at the other abilities that aren't just items from the context-sensitive buttons. In the heist, he slows down time, allowing him to dodge bullets, so he can move significantly faster than the normal folk coming at him. And also hypnotizing Fangy and being able to ride him. Hypnotizing is a classic vampire ability that has been demonstrated through countless media across the years related to vampirism. And furthering this theory, the context-sensitive buttons say they give Conker what he needs. It doesn't say he becomes what he needs. Conker can just do that. So Conker demonstrates that he has these abilities and utilizes them when needed. If being family to this world's Dracula and being able to shapeshift, slow down time, and hypnotize wasn't enough evidence, let's look at the other trait of Daywalkers. According to a monster wiki, Daywalkers possess superhuman strength, stamina, heightened senses, and they can heal fast from injuries. Conker does in fact possess all of these abilities. He demonstrates his strength by pushing giant boulders with relative ease, and he ain't no gorilla. He also lifts and throws this giant beehive that has machinery and weapons inside it, and it's much larger than him, I might add. His stamina is also nothing to sneeze at. He does spend the whole game climbing, running, and swimming, after all. As far as heightened senses, Conker literally has a sense no one else does and breaks the fourth wall often, meaning he's hyper aware of everything around him, even things others can't see. And last but not least, healing from injuries. He literally heals by eating chocolate. Nothing holds him down for too long. The fact that the Grim Reaper gets upset because you're a squirrel and states when you first die that squirrels can come back as many times as they think they can get away with, if you look at this objectively, it's not true. The entire squirrel army gets wiped out and many don't come back. You mean to tell me that these squirrels chose not to come back? All of them? I don't think so. I think this only applies to Conker because he's something different. Plus, Conker's a red squirrel, while all the rest seem to be gray. And while Batula is gray, I think it may be more so due to age because of how he looks in his portrait. After all this is said and done, Conker isn't bound by the same rules as the other characters because he's not just a squirrel, he's a shape-shifting, super strong daywalker descendant from vampires. Or am I overthinking it? Well, that's all I have for you. I hope you'll punch subscribe, drop a like, and hit that noti bell to catch my future uploads. Until next time, have a good one!